admit, that was the single most anticlimactic entrance ever. It took me 73 hours just to get my drinks where I need them. So let's pretend you haven't seen me yet today, and let's maybe do a better entrance. Here, I'm gonna get myself really ready here. Okay, we got that. That's where. Okay, here we go. Ready? I am Aurelio Voltaire, and I am almost human. What did I ever do to you that you should treat me this way? Is it really such a crime for an angel to keep his mind in time? I'll try to shed some light. If I were a big boy, I wouldn't cry. But since I'm not a big boy, I have to cry. What did I ever do so wrong that you should cast me from grace? Though I love to rule in hell here, how I miss the taste of heaven, its soft and cool embrace. If I were a big boy, I wouldn't cry. But since I'm not a big boy, I have to close my eyes and picture what it's like. I'm just like you, I'm made by he, despised by they. I'm almost me, I'm nearly human. Look at me, I'm almost a human being. I still remember your light, and it was streaming down and burning out my eyes. If I were a big boy, I wouldn't cry. But since I'm not a big boy, I'll have to close my eyes and picture what it's like. I'm just like you, I'm made by he, despised by they. I'm almost me, I'm nearly human. Pity me, I'm almost a human being. These tears are real, I'm jealousy, I'm spite and hate. To the core of me, I'm nearly human. Look at me, I'm almost a human being. Don't touch me, oh, I couldn't bear the thought of it now. Don't touch me, oh, I couldn't bear the strain. Don't touch me, oh, I couldn't bear the thought of it now. Touch me, touch me, touch me. Don't touch me, touch me, touch me. Thank you very, 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 very much. I haven't sang that song in about 20 years. I also, that was topless on that album cover. You may have noticed I've not been topless again. Because I'm fat now. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. You know, I don't know. Tell me you like bears and zaddies without telling me you like bears and zaddies. Well, you're going to be getting a nice, healthy slice of this bear's zaddy because I'm releasing, you know, you may have noticed I finally got around to making vinyl, and I have my very first album, Devil's Briss, on vinyl here tonight. But the very next one that I'm making is the one from Almost Human.
I teased the audience. I was like, you know, we're gonna do a Kickstarter, and I'm gonna have a stretch goal. I should have just said stretch marks, honestly, because like if I get to a certain figure, I will recreate the album cover as it would look today. Knowing full well I wouldn't get to $30,000. And at $29,000, I started sweating hard. And I was like, look, I really love your support, but at $29,999, stop fucking donating money. But it's up to like 30-something now, so I'll be bearing it all. So I guess now I have to make like a double-wide album, like a fold-out. See me in all of my topless majesty. Ladies and gentlemen, the Almost Human vinyl isn't the only thing that's going on. I'm on tour right now. This year's tour is called Between the Devil and the Demonatrix Tour because, as you may have heard, after 50 years, literally after 50 years of dreaming about it and trying, I finally directed my first feature-length monster movie. It's called The Demonatrix. It tells the story of a Mexican priest, played by me, clothed, who comes to the aid of his very dear friend and neighbor, a dominatrix, when she accidentally summons an incubus demon. This movie stars Doug Bradley, Pinhead himself from Hellraiser, is in our film. Our demon is played by skinny puppy singer Nivik Ogre. And I'm showing this film, our lead actress, Hannah Fearman, was the succubus in VHS. That lady. It's really an incredibly fun little movie, and it's playing tomorrow night at the Sunray Cinema. And it's sold out, so hope you got your tickets. In any case, because I finally made a feature film and I'm primarily known as a musician, a lot of people have asked me, you're gonna write the score, right? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna write the score because I don't know what that is. No. So writing a score is a completely different skill set from writing songs. And then people say, well, you're gonna write songs for the movies, aren't you? And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna write any songs for the movie. And if you see it tomorrow, I challenge you not to be as annoyed as I am by how many times my name appears in the opening credits. It's like, I've done enough. Like I wrote the thing, I'm in the thing, I directed the thing, I produced the thing. Like I don't need to also make music for it. However, and here's the punchline. We're all on the social medias now. And of course, I want people to know about my movie. So every time I make a post about the Demonatrix, I have to think about what music I'm going to put to the post. And of course, it would be stupid not to promote my own music. So I've had to go through my entire catalog and go, what song of mine is the most like this film? And I did find one. It's a song from my latest album, Summerween Surf. Spooky surf album. I recorded this song with a Russian surf band called Messer Chups. Messer Chups could not be here tonight. I don't know what the fuck is going on in Russia that's so important that they couldn't be in Tampa tonight. So I'm gonna have to muddle through this song by myself. Now this song is not about the Demonatrix. It is in fact about another rather famous horror film. See if you can guess which it is. This is, oh shit, I can't tell you the title. This is the song I'm about to play. There we go. this is about. You cried out, come to me, in hope someone would hear. You sought an angel, but you caught the devil's ear. I will be there with you tonight, but I'll be gone before the morning light comes. And no love won't surround you, though it may confound you. I'm nothing but an appetite. Dark shadows reach across the sea to your room where you're waiting for me. This addiction to be by your side is my affliction. I'm Satan tonight. I'm Satan tonight. I'm Satan tonight. Have you guessed what movie this song is about? You're right, it's from. Anybody? Nosferatu. I will be there with you tonight, but I'll be gone before the morning light comes. And no love won't surround you, though it may confound you. I'm nothing but an appetite. Dark shadows reach across the sea to your room where you're waiting for me. This addiction to be by your side is my affliction. I'm Satan tonight. I'm Satan tonight. I pray you don't let it fly. Thank you very much. You know, on this Between the Devil and the Demonatrix tour, I have typically shown the movie first. Yeah, I don't always have a choice. I prefer if everyone in this audience had just seen the Demonatrix, and then we could talk about it while I play these dumb songs. But, so I can't, you know, normally this is the part of the show where I do a little monologue about what the sequel's gonna be like. I can't tell you about the sequel if you haven't seen the first film, because there's a lot of spoilers involved. I can tell you this. Raise your hand if you know what an incubus demon is. So, you know, an incubus demon, I don't think it's a spoiler if it says right in the log line that the Demonatrix summons an incubus demon. You probably would not be surprised to know that it creeps into her bedroom at night several times over the course of the film. Now, I'm not going to tell you, of course, how this film ends. You'll have to see it tomorrow night at the Sunray Cinema. But I will tell you that in the sequel, I have this idea where the incubus will no longer be visiting our dominatrix Lita. Instead, there will be 3 succubi. Do you know what succubi? 3 succubi, i.e. 3 buxom, red, naked, sexy devil ladies who come visit the Mexican priest at night. Repeatedly. Now, I play the Mexican priest, as you may know. And I realize that I'm going to have to try to sell this script to some investors, to my producing partners. But honestly, the person I'm going to have the hardest time selling the script to is my fiance. She's going to be like, no way, Jose. You are not going to be visited by nobody, motherfucker. This is like the third time this has happened. Really. So when I tell that story, inevitably someone yells, "Make her one of the devil women." Okay. Have you ever asked your Mexican girlfriend if you'd like to have a threesome? That's good. Make her all three. That she'd go for. That she'd go for. So I want to tell you a really quick story about threesomes, because my ex-girlfriend, I'm like best friends with almost all of my ex-girlfriends. Thank God my fiance is so cool. She's not a jealous person. But I had an ex-girlfriend. She's from this area, actually. She's from Florida. Still one of the most clever people I've ever known. And when we first started dating, she was telling me about her ex, and I said, "What happened?" She was like, "He was really annoying. He kept asking me if I wanted to have a threesome. And he was like really obsessed, and he just kept bringing it up, which is like really insulting to your partner. Like, like you're telling them that it's not enough. You want to do something with other people." And at some point, she just got so tired of him. So she says to me, I finally just said to him one night, I was like, "Okay, fine, let's do it. Let's have a threesome." He said, "Really?" She said, yeah, let's have a threesome. How about Saturday night? He's like, "Saturday night's perfect." And she goes, "Okay, so who's the other dude gonna be?" And he goes, "I'm not gay." And she goes, "Neither am I." Well, I don't think I'll be able to get my fiance to agree to the succubi thing. But I don't have any songs about succubi, but I do have this. This is kind of similar. I was alone and I needed a date. I was taking a walk past the cemetery gate when I saw a sign for a good time. Take a left down into the number 8. Went through the gateway and I'm pretty sure I saw some eyes peeking out of a sepulcher. I took a step into the tomb of the repute. That's where I met her, the zombie prostitute. La da 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 da. I grabbed her left breast and I'm pretty sure I tore it. I said go down, but she didn't have the stomach for it. Her teeth fell out and her tongue fell out the food. But all in all, she was a rotten kind of cute. Well, I was tense, it was plain to see. A sort of rigor mortis was coming over me. I didn't want to see it, but I just had to believe it. Yup, I had a stiffy for the stiff in front of me. La da 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 da. Stalling as much as I can. Well, now I'm falling apart from my head down to my toes. I don't know which of my organs is the next to go. I've been such a sleaze since she gave me the disease. Wouldn't you know now I'm a zombie gigolo? I took my first client on a date. We took a walk to the cemetery gate. I got under her sweat, but then I heard her rip. I pulled it out and I said, "You were watching?" Gross! And kind of hot. Morally, I'm destitute in the tomb of a repute. She's a rotten kind of cute for a zombie prostitute. Here's one. Oh shit. This is a little bit of a long story, but I want to tell you how I arrived at the place where I am today. So my most recent album is called Summer Windsurf, and it's a spooky surf album. It's got some ska songs, some rockabilly, like gothabilly songs, right? And I have come to calling this kind of music proto-goth. Like the goth scene, we all know what that sounds like. But in recent history, I started realizing that when I was like a bullied kid in the late 70s and 80s, before I ever discovered the goth scene, and when I say that, I don't mean like in a Christopher Columbus way. It wasn't like, land ho! And she's wearing all black. I mean, like I stumbled upon the goth scene, and those of you who know my story know that the goth scene like really embraced me and allowed me to dress like a fucking vampire if I want to dress like a goddamn vampire. It gave me a place where I could be myself. But I was recently thinking about the fact that I belonged to like a spooky subculture before I discovered goth, because when kids in the 50s, 60s, 70s, when we were growing up, we didn't have the internet. Yeah. We didn't have video games, right? For most of that period. And there were only two games kids played, and that was Cops and Robbers or Cowboys and Indians. Or sports. And if you were like me and you hated sports, then you were just a weirdo. And unfortunately, back then, and I hope it's not true anymore, but back then, being a weirdo was complete justification for people to kick the shit out of you on a daily basis. So, a lot of kids like me who didn't like that stuff eventually discovered something that we did get excited about, and that was monsters. So, when I was a kid, I would run home from school to try to not get my ass kicked. And I'd go down into the basement, I'd put on the 4:30 movie, and I'd watch Dracula, or The Wolfman, or The Mummy, Frankenstein, King Kong, Godzilla, Gamera, Ghidra. That's where I met all of my best friends. My only friends. And it was a safe place to be. And I'll tell you, as weird as it sounds, as ridiculous as it sounds, monsters saved my life. Yeah. Just the fact that there was something, however goofy or silly it is, in this case, monsters, being excited to see the next monster movie, being excited to run to the corner to buy the next issue of Fangoria magazine, or Starlog, or Famous Monsters of Filmland. You know, this literally kept me alive. I got a Super 8 camera. I started making stop motion films in my basement. And you're gonna find this very hard to believe, but somehow that did not improve my situation at school. And I always dreamed of making a monster movie, and it took literally 50 years, but it finally happened. Dreams do come true. A lot of people think when they hear the Demonatrix, they're like, is this like Velocipaster 2? And I have to tell people, the Demonatrix is not a porno movie. It is also not a comedy. And I know this for a fact because the Demonatrix is a comedy porno. No, it isn't. It's a fucking serious. Shut up. Anyway, where was I going with all this? So at some point in recent history, when I sort of rediscovered that before I knew about the goth scene, I was listening to all this spooky music. I went back. It all started because of, God damn it, it started because of this. I do a goofy show on YouTube called Gothic Homemaking. The New York Times got wind of my show, and they called me the Martha Stewart for macabre homemakers. And whenever the New York Times says anything nice about you, you get a book deal. So I got a book deal. I wrote this book called Gothic Life. It is an entire year of like Halloween decoration and creepy cocktail recipes and frightful food recipes. Yeah. And so the publisher asked me that I do some holidays, and of course I was going to do Halloween. And I do a mean, creepy Christmas at the Aurelio Voltaire, so I did creepy Christmas as well. But then they said, can you do something for Summerween? And I said, okay, sure. And so I started doing, I turned pink lawn flamingos into like vampire vulture bats, and did things like I made a guacamole spider, things of that nature. And then they said, can you show us how you would plan a Summerween party? I live in New York City in an apartment that is half the size of this stage. I do not have a backyard backyard. When I plan a party, it's for 2.5 people. So I had to plan this like outdoor summer wing party, and then when I was just about done with it, they said, give us a playlist. What kind of music would you play at this thing? And I thought, would I play like the top 40 goth stuff I would normally play at everything else? And I was like, no, I want to do like some summery monster music. And I went down this rabbit hole, oh my God. And I dug up all of these songs about, like rockabilly songs about monsters, reggae songs about monsters, ska songs about monsters. And before I knew it, I literally have playlists on my Spotify that like 13-hour long playlists of like this sort of, anyway, the point of the story is that I got inspired to make this Summer Ween album. And while I'm making the Summer Ween album, I say to myself, there's a song I should do a cover of. The most famous moment in rock and roll history when rock and roll and monsters collided. It created a song that we still hear every Halloween. It is called, that's right, the Monster Mash. So I was like, well, I should probably do a cover of the Monster Mash. But I don't like doing covers because I honestly believe that I can't improve upon a song that I love. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll do a parody. But then I remembered that when my album, The Devil's Brisk, came out in 1998, there was a review that said, this guy's basically the Weird Al Yankovic of the Coffin Crowd. That's right. Maybe I won't do a parody. So what I did was, I wrote a song inspired by the Monster Mash, but instead of singing about the universal monsters, which, let's be honest, I sing about on all the other songs, on this album I sing about the summer slashers. The Freddy Kruegers, the Mike Myers, the Jason Voorhees, etc. And it's a ska song. Now, I recorded this song with one of my favorite ska bands. They're called Out of Control Army out of Mexico City. They could not be here tonight. I do not know what the fuck is going on in Mexico City that was so important that they could not come to Tampa to play this with me. I'm assuming one of their daughters has a quinceañera. That's the only acceptable excuse. So I'm going to sing this by myself. Now, because this is a ska song, I'm going to have to sing all the horn parts myself. But I'm going to ask you to help me by singing the chorus. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Voltaire, I do not fucking know this song. How could I possibly sing the chorus? Well, you're in luck. Because while I was writing this song, it's called The Slash, I realized that I had accidentally ripped off Queen. So you know Queen has a song, it goes, Flash, Savior of the universe, Flash, will save every one of us. That is exactly how the chorus of this song goes. It goes, they did the slash, they did the murder slash, pop, 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 they did the slash, it was a bloody splash, da, 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 they did the slash, they did the murder slash. See, you already know it. This is honestly, I think, one of the only times that plagiarism has really paid off for me. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, The Slash. Summertime, I was feeling great. I took a dip in a crystal lake till I felt something beneath the waves. A drowning boy, nobody saved. There was another kid on Halloween. When he was done with the trick or treat, he killed his sister with a kitchen knife. And now they slay for life. They did the slash. They did the murder slash. They did the slash. They made a bloody splash. Last night I had a crazy dream. Ghostface made me scream, cause he and Chucky hatched a plan. And Freddy Krueger lent a hand. They found a miner from deep in a mine and said Candyman 5 times. Even the creeper came to take a look, but by then I was hooked. They did the slash. They did the murder slash. so fucking hard. Some pervert's got your number. He calls the party where you slumber. It's always such a bummer when everyone knows what you did last summer. Everyone knows what you did. Oh, 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 oh. Doing the splash is the way to go. Oh, 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 oh. Who'll be the last girl no one knows? Ba-da. Ba-da. These days it's so absurd. Said a psycho, take my words, I used a knife back then, but now I've heard there's been a Texas chainsaw massacre. Cropsy said, you know higher. These kids are playing with fire, cause Art the Clown is always down to find new ways to terrify her. He's always down to clown. Cause he's a They did the slash. They did the murder slash. They did the slash. They made a bloody splash. They did the slash. They did the murder slash. They did the slash. It was a graveyard smash. Old in the year 2000, you may remember this one. This is a song I wrote for a Cartoon Network show called The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Whoa, whoa, if you're white, just stop clapping right now. You're just gonna mess me up. That's racist, yo. Oh, Jesus Christ, where was I? I'm just kidding. If you're white, go ahead and clap. What the fuck am I doing up here? Oh, whoa, insulting people. That's what I'm doing. Whoa. Step right up, I'm a reasonable guy. Don't be frightened by the look in my eye. I'm just your average evil meteor from out of the sky. Well, I'm just shy and scared in this place. A fish out of water from outer space. You can see that the trip is like a tidal drain. So why don't you be a pal and bring me some parade? Song slightly more interesting. When I say brains, you say brains. All in favor say aye. All in favor say brains. And if you're wearing a t-shirt that says brains, every time I say brains, take it off. And then put it back on. And then take it off and then put it back on. I'm just trying to fuck with one person's life right now. Down to your neighbor's place. See the dull expression on his face. You were doing him a favor if you brought him to me. He ain't using his brain, he's just watching TV. Cartoon Network, probably. Go down to Mr. McGee's. He hasn't had a thought since 43. His brain is the portrait of atrophy. He ain't using it, why not give it to me? Brains. I won't lie. I'll leave the brains till the zombify. Son of a bitch. She might think it's the rain, but they will give it a thought to reveal their brains. Brains. It's okay. It's not a matter if it isn't gray. And if at first they think it's strange, they won't think twice if they don't have a brain. I honestly thought I was the craziest motherfucker here tonight. I'll show you. idea Voltaire had front bud. That's really weird.
I'm not going to make it to the end of the song.
Brains. 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 I am drunk with power right now. And if I do less talking and more drinking, I might actually get fucking drunk tonight. Brains. I love 'em, I need 'em, but tongue jokes for joy when I eat 'em. Big ones, fat ones, short ones, tall ones, so delectable, especially the small ones. No time to cook 'em in a skillet. Bells rumbling, I gotta need to fill it. I don't cry, I keep it on the shrink 'em. I just grab myself a straw and I drink 'em. Whoa. Seen all of your old faces. My work here in Tampa's done. You've been swell to go around and bring me every single brain in town, but with all these brains I can't help but think that there isn't one left out there to drink. Someone that you're trying to protect. Bring her down here to meet her, and then I promise I'll be your bestest friend. Brains. I won't lie. I'll lead her brain till she's on the fly. Sure, she might think it's deranged, but she won't give it a thought to ravine her brains. Brains. It's okay. It's not a matter if it isn't gray. And if at first she thinks it's strange, she won't think twice if she don't have a brain. Hooray. Another one for that same show. The Minotaur is my butler, the Cyclops my valet, the Centaur drives his chariot that takes me down the way, or a river made of fire through a stream that's paved in gold. I got a dozen zombie skeletons to walk me to my throne in the land of the dead. And boy, ain't it grand. I'm the lord of the underworld, 'cause I hold horror's hand. In the land of the dead, I'm dark side royalty. I'm far renowned in the underground, and you can't take that from me. My lapdog is loyal as can be. My bed is made of skulls. I'm in the lap of luxury. I got a dragon's blood jacuzzi. The Gorgons think it's cool. And a seven-headed Hydra living in my swimming pool. In the land of the dead. Hey boy, ain't it grand. I'm the overlord of the underworld, 'cause I hold horror's hand. In the land of the dead, I'm dark side royalty. I'm far renowned in the underground, and you can't take that away from me. No, you can't take that from me. It's probably just COVID. Let's hope. Let's hope. Let's hope. I have the cure right here. When I talk about the bullying in my childhood, people don't always get a sense of it, you know? It's like, we've all got bullied a little bit here and there. When I say I was bullied as a child, I mean, there were groups of children, 10, 20, 30 sometimes, strong, who would wait for me after school. And they would frog march me to a field where they would take turns kicking my ass, sometimes holding me down and spitting into my mouth. And, yeah, gross. And delicious. And, I make light of it now. It's funny now. It was not funny then. And the fucked up thing about this, so you know, obviously I learned every alternate exit in that school. Like I practically dug my way out like with a spoon from the basement once. Like honestly, anything I could do to get out of there. The messed up thing is this field where a lot of this abuse would take place was directly next to my fucking house. Like if I had parents who gave a shit, who just like looked out the window, it may not have been happening. Although, truth be told, it would not have helped me any if my stepfather had looked out the window. My stepfather, so I'm Cuban. We emigrated. Muchas gracias. I say, I laka the lingo. Anyway. Oh, relax. Do behave. Behave yourself. So, but I am a cunning linguist, that is true. Sí, claro que hablo español, soy cubano. Y aquí hay muchos cubanos. Bienvenidos todos los que son cubanos, hispanos, Sudamérica, América Central, España, wherever you came from, welcome here tonight. Where the hell was I going with this story? So, I feel like anyway, so, if my stepfather was also Cuban. He was one of these like really super crazy old school macho Cuban weirdos. And he would beat the shit out of me if I came home with a black eye. Because his reasoning would be that if I didn't win the fight, then I needed to be punished. Which sounds an awful lot to me like he just wanted to fight the person who had already lost the fight. You know? This guy smoked these giant cigars like Fidel Castro. And everything that I liked, he said was gay. Now, I don't mean gay like, yo, man, that shit's gay. I mean like homosexual. So I grew up so I loved stop motion animation, and that made me gay. And I liked sculpting, and that made me gay. And I liked drawing, and that made me gay. And I liked Duran Duran, and that made me gay. So I grew up thinking that gay meant fucking awesome. Gay is all of these super fucking awesome things I love. But I don't know, this guy was so terrified of homosexuality, and I was like, just suck a dick already, my God. You're projecting, son. Just get over it. So, I already told you monsters saved my life. Well, there was one filmmaker in particular. His name was Ray Harryhausen. And Ray Harryhausen was a stop-motion animator. When you watch movies today that have monsters in them, you can sit and watch the credits for like an hour and a half. You know, it's like millions and millions and millions of people made the effects in Jurassic Park. When you watch a Ray Harryhausen film, it's a special effects, Ray Harryhausen. It's literally one guy in a room posing a dinosaur and taking a frame, and posing a little rubber dinosaur and taking a frame. And I just fell in love with this. I fell in love with King Kong, and I fell in love with the Cyclops from the Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. The skeletons from Jason and the Argonauts. Medusa from Clash of the Titans. And I wanted to learn how to do this, so I would go to the corner store and I'd buy magazines like Famous Monsters of Filmland and Starlog and Fangoria, and I slowly learned how to do stop motion. At the age of 10, I bought a Super 8 camera and I started making films, and I'd be down in my basement making these films, which of course made me Anyway, so when I was 13 years old, I found out that Ray Harryhausen was coming to New York City. So I was growing up in the suburbs of this place you should never ever go to called New Jersey. New York City is quite close to us, and Ray Harryhausen, he was American, but he was living in England most of his life, and he was coming to a convention, like a comic book convention in New York City, and I begged my mother to take me. I was like, you don't understand, this is God. And honestly, this man's work was the only thing keeping me from taking my life at 13. And I asked my mom to take me, and she said, oh no, listen how fucked up this story is. I only realized how fucked up this was later on. She's like, oh my God, no, New York is so dangerous, I could never ever take you there. But I'll buy you a bus ticket, and you can go yourself. Like, was she hoping I'd get offed? So she bought me a bus ticket, she bought me a ticket to the convention, and she rented me a hotel room at the hotel where they were doing the convention. And she said, go meet your hero. And so I got on a bus and I checked into the hotel, and the first day of the convention I went downstairs, and Ray Harryhausen was sitting at a table selling this book called Ray Harryhausen's Film Fantasy Scrapbook. So I bought a copy, and I got online, and I was on that line for maybe an hour, and I was practicing what I was going to say to God, like when I finally got to meet God. And I wanted to sound smart. I wanted to sound like I knew about stop motion. I wanted to ask him maybe a technical question. And I'm like 12 or 13 years old. I get to the front of the line, and I hand him my book, and he opens it up, and he goes to sign it to me, and he says, what's your name? And I said, and I could not speak. Words would not leave my head. And I'll never forget it. After a while, he looked at me and he went, best wishes, Ray Harryhausen. And he handed me the book. And I walked away and I was so mortified. And I went and I sat in a corner and I felt just absolutely terrible. Like I finally had a moment to tell the person who was keeping me alive how important those silly monsters were to me. And I couldn't. And so I sat there and I just felt terrible. And the next day, I said to myself, I'm going to the downstairs to the convention, and I'm going to walk right up to Mr. Harryhausen, and I'm going to tell him how important he is to me. And I went down there, and the circus had left. Like, the dealer's room was empty. There were no tables. There were no vendors. And I just remember this incredibly empty feeling of like this magical world was just gone. It's just vaporized. And the only thing left in that room was this glass cabinet that had Ray Harryhausen stop motion animation models in them. And I just sat down, I was like looking at it from across the room. I said, if he came in here right now, I would talk to him. I would find the strength to say to him how important he is to me. And right on fucking time, Ray Harryhausen walks into the room. And it's like a goddamn Pepsi commercial. Is it I don't know, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, I don't know which one did it, but he walks in and it's just he and I in this giant ballroom, and I'm slowly walking up to him, trying to get up the nerve to talk to him, and I'll never forget it. This is a visual gag. Give me a second.
We love visual gags.
I'm walking across the room, and he has a red Samsonite suitcase, like a hard shell suitcase. He puts it on the floor and opens it up. And he opens up the cabinet, and he reaches and he grabs the Medusa from Clash of the Titans, and then just drops it. I'm like, no! And then the skeletons and the dragon from Seventh Voyage of Sinbad and the Cyclops, and I was just like, I just stood there in complete shock. Like what little regard he had for these religious artifacts, you know? And then he packed up his bag and he walked out. And that was the end of my meeting with God. Until about 20 years later. So at 17, being in that town, being in that family became intolerable. And it was either I was going to murder myself or I was going to run away from home. And I chose run away from home. So I went to New York City. immediately got a job as a stop motion animator working at a place called Pee-wee's Playhouse. No one ever believes this part of the story, but Rob Zombie was my bike messenger. He was the guy who would go buy my clay and shit. That dirty hippie. Go buy my clay, hippie. Anyway, so I become a successful stop motion animator, and then eventually stop motion dies and I'm out of a job, and I'm like, well, I guess I better learn to play the guitar. And a music career begins. So now I'm playing periodically at this sci-fi convention called Icon in Long Island. And like honestly, like now 20 or 30 years have gone by. And I remember I get a call from them and they were like, hey, do you want to come and perform at Icon this year? And I said, of course I do. And they said, listen, this year we're going to have a panel on stop motion animation. You do stop motion, don't you? And I was like, yeah, sort of, I used to. He said, do you want to speak on the panel? I was like, of course. Who else is going to be on this panel? He said, just this one other guy. His name's Ray Harryhausen. And they're like, yeah, ha, ha, very funny, very funny. And they're like, why, is he like famous or something? Ray Harryhausen is the single most famous stop motion animator. He is my idol and my god, and he got me through my childhood. I'm going to interview him, right? And they're like, no, you're just going to sit on a panel next to him, and you will both answer questions from the audience. I'm like, this is fucking surreal. So now I'm thinking to myself, it was like, 3 months away, and I was like, a meteor's going to hit the earth. He's going to die of a heart attack. He was 80 at that time. I was like, he's going to die of a heart attack. Something's going to happen. This is not going to, come to fruition. And it's the day of the show. And I go out to Long Island, New York. Back then I had spiky black hair and I wore like black suits with red ties. Before Gerard Way. And my disciple. Anyway, so I get to the show and it was in an amphitheater. It was in a college campus. And the amphitheater, it's like subterranean. You gotta go down these stairs and it's just packed. It's just full of people. And I'm running downstairs. I'm a little bit late. And I see Ray Harryhausen sitting at a table, and he stands up, and as I reach the ground floor, he comes towards me, and I remember him being 7 feet tall. I really do. Like, in my memory, he was 7 feet tall. And I remember that this hand came towards me, and it looked like this fucking enormous hand coming down from heaven. And he went to shake, and I'll never forget it, because I remember looking at his hand going, how the fuck did he animate those tiny skeletons with those giant sausage fingers? And I shook his hand, and he said, in this booming voice, he was 80, this booming voice that sounded like it was coming from Mount Olympus, he said, you must be Voltaire. I said, yes, yeah, I'm Voltaire. And he looked me up and down. He went, good heavens. I was like, good heavens. Ray Harryhausen said, good heavens. And then we sat down at this table, and for the next hour, people would ask us questions. And the microphone was on a swivel, and they would ask a question for the person they were there to see, Ray Harryhausen. And then he would swivel the mic toward me, as if to, imply the next question will obviously be for Voltaire. And I had so much fun. I remember telling him that, because he was a bald man, and I had spiky hair, and I was like, this isn't hair, these are nerve endings. That's how, anxious stop motion makes you. And he goes, at least you have all your hair. I ripped all of mine out. And the next day he came to New York City, and we went out for lunch. And we went to the Museum of Modern Art and made fun of all the modern art. I was like, look at that, that's bullshit, absolutely. And we had so much, I couldn't believe it. It was like a day with the man who saved my life, but didn't know it. And I eventually got married, and we got divorced eventually, but she's still one of my dearest friends. But when I was married, I would sometimes go down to my studio in New York City, and I'd work all night. And if it got really late, I'd just call my wife, and I'd say, hey, I'm not coming home tonight. I'm going to be sleeping. I'm going to sleep on the couch in the studio. And she'd say, okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And I'll never forget one night I was sleeping on one day I was sleeping. It's a fucking crack of 4 p.m. All right, so like, it's like 4 p.m. and I haven't woken up yet, and I hear my phone buzz, and I pick it up and I look at it, and it was from my wife, and it said, "I'm so sorry about Ray Harryhausen." And I had to look it up, of course, and he had died. He was fucking 90, okay? Like, he lived a nice, long life. But I cried, and I cried, and I cried like my own father had died. So, when I talk to you about being saved by monsters, you know, like, this is the power of some of this, what seems like ridiculously silly stuff. If you are a quote-unquote insufferable Disney adult, like I am, because I've been called an insufferable Disney adult, this is the kind of shit I'm talking about. Going to Disney as an adult and having, like, you know, just seeing the Disney villains and going on the Haunted Mansion 10 times in a row. Stuff like that keeps life interesting, keeps life exciting. And so when I was a kid, I clearly did not wish to be a part of my own family. But there were 2 families on television that I loved to imagine being a part of. One of them was called The Munsters. And the other one was called The Addams Family. And it's amazing that all of these years later, I'd always dreamed of living in a home that looked like the Addams Family house. I created the guidebook to making a house that looks like the Addams Family house. And I now live in one. It just so happens that it's the size of their pantry. So I'd like to dedicate this next song to... Oh, maybe I'll do that. I'd like to... It's still a D. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Oh, relax. It keeps getting flatter or sharper, I don't know. I'd like to dedicate this song to an imaginary family member of mine. And I want to say this. If you had an experience like I had, you understand the importance of finding your family, whether it's your biological family or not. This is exactly the kind of place where those things happen. So if you're an orphan looking for a new family, welcome. Welcome. And I want to take a moment to embarrass you. And the reason I'm going to take a moment to embarrass you, yes, you, because you're here with a... Are you related?
Yes.
Is this your dad?
Yes.
So if you are here with a parent, I just want you... I know how goofy you probably think your dad is, because I had a teenage son at one point, and I know how fucking goofy he thought I was. But I am jealous of you. All of the other kids at school should be jealous of you that you have a parent who would bring you to something that you love. And a round of applause for Dad and any of the other parents who are here with their children tonight. All alone on a gray and gloomy day, on her own, in the graveyard down the way, she's practicing her cello, and the reeds begin to sway between the graves. Can they hear? Buried 6 feet underground, entombed for years. As the crypts fill up with sound, she's speaking through her instrument the words she'd love to say that she won't say. And the angels sigh as the clouds begin to cry. It's always Wednesday, like the cold and pretty fall. It's always Wednesday, at the center of it all. You'd love to touch her heart, but she might tear your world apart, because it's Wednesday after all. Then this school, while she doesn't quite fit in, she's no one's fool. Teasing her loved ones is a sin. She'll watch the bullies fall. Meanwhile, she's having a ball. I guess our little girl's an Adam she don't need the internet. I don't care if Monday's blue, it's Wednesday, I'm in love. Now you've heard as the music swirls around like pretty words she would never say aloud. My brother's pigtail protege, my little stormy cloud. Yes, let it out. And the angels sigh as the clouds begin to cry. It's always Wednesday, like the cold and pretty fall. It's always Wednesday, at the center of it all. Love to touch her arm, but she might tear your world apart because it's Wednesday after all. Because it's Wednesday after all. Thank you very much. It's my favorite Disney movie, Nightmare Before Christmas. Fuck you, Disney, for saying it was Touchstone Pictures. So I don't know if you know this, but when Nightmare Before Christmas came out, Disney thought it was too weird for them, so they released it like on a satellite company of theirs called Touchstone Pictures, and then it became so famous and so popular that now you can't take two steps at Disney without running into some Nightmare Before Christmas merch. So maybe you just should have known it was good from the beginning, huh? Yeah, fuck Disney! I'll be giving them all my money in about 3 weeks. Speaking of heroes, David Bowie. David Bowie, I remember exactly where I was the moment I found out David Bowie died. I was in a golf club, it was about 3 in the morning, and similar situation, someone texted me, they said, so sorry about David Bowie, and I looked it up, and I went home because I knew I was gonna cry, I was gonna weep openly. And I thought to myself, I don't want to do that here. And now in retrospect, I realize it was a fucking goth club. I would have only gotten like extra goth points. I was in there sobbing. But I had a weird relationship with David Bowie because we were parents at the same school.
What?
Yeah, my son went to school with Lexi Jones, David's daughter. And that wasn't all. Because Dave Gahan, the lead singer of Depeche Mode, also had his daughter at the same school. So I used to see David Bowie and Dave Gahan at PTA meetings. And they had this thing at his school called Parent-Teacher Choir. And for the entire time that we were all parents there, I was covertly trying to get David Bowie and Dave Gahan to join the Parent-Teacher Choir so that I could tell people that I was in a super group. I'd be walking through the airport with my guitar, and people are like, hey, are you a musician? I'm like, yeah. You have a band? Band? I have a super group. Really? Who's in your super group? David Bowie and Dave Gahan. What? Yeah, it's called Parent Teacher Choir. PTC, we call it PTC. PTC. It never did come to be. It never did come to be. And it was weird because I really idolized him. He was probably the first man that I saw like in the 80s. Him, Adam Ant, David Bowie, Adam Ant, Peter Murphy. These were like the first men who I saw on television, and I was like, I want to be those guys. Like, I want to wear makeup, and I want to wear women's clothes sometimes. Like, why is it women's clothing? Like, I don't get it. Like, it's not shaped differently. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of this shit didn't make sense to me as a teenager.
Yeah.
Like, I would put on fishnet stockings and people were like, bro, that's for women. I'm like, we have legs too, man. And they're also shapely and sexy. Kind of want to show mine off. Well, at least shave, motherfucker. So anyway, so when David Bowie died, I wanted to do a tribute to him, and we already know that I was not going to do an album of covers because there's no way I can improve on any of those songs. And then I was like, definitely not going to do an album of parodies. So what I ended up doing was I wrote and recorded a sequel, a musical sequel to Labyrinth. After the death of the Goblin King, because sadly that did happen in real life. And I recorded this album with 15 members of David Bowie's band from every era of his career. So there's like the guitarist from Diamond Dogs, the sax player from Let's Dance, the flute player from Black Star, like all throughout his career. There's people from all throughout his career playing on it.
They couldn't be here today.
They could not be here. For a reason, I'm so glad you brought that up. I don't know what the fuck is going on in all of those 15 other cities. It's so fucking important. That bullshit is right. I hate it when people improve my jokes. So, where was I going with this? So anyway, this is the first record that I ever released singles from. Duran Duran was a band that I loved, and I've like followed them all my life, and they'd always release singles, and I've never done that as a musician. I just put out the whole album. I was like, I want to be like Duran Duran. I'm going to put out singles. So I picked the 5 songs that I thought would be the most beloved by people, and I released them one at a time as singles. And if you go to my Spotify right now and you look up the Black Labyrinth, you will find that the most popular song from that record is none of those singles. It is a song called Little White Lies. It is sung in the big scheme of things, in the story of the Black Labyrinth, which only I know, because that makes sense. It's sung by a giant white snake in the labyrinth after he's just finished eating a caterpillar wearing a scarf. It's called the Black Labyrinth. It's not called the Glitter Rainbow Labyrinth, okay? It's fucking sad. It's a sad fucking record.
But he said hello!
He said hello. And the snake went, fucking wool scarves. Anyway. I don't know why this song resonates with people more than the others. So perhaps after you hear it, you can tell me later if you know why. This is Little White Lies. Somehow we've made it this far through the show and I haven't forgotten a lyric yet. And those of you who have been coming to my shows, you know that I have a game that I play with myself. And it's a drinking game. Every time I make a mistake, I must drink. I've not forgotten any lyrics, but I did fuck up that guitar solo. It's just iced tea. who recognize that song may know that it's from an animated web series called Vampire. 10 years ago, a very talented young lady. I want to say she was a teenager at the time, and that's so important for you to know, because I started my stop motion career when I was a teenager. Those ideas that you have, those drawings that you're making, those things that you're writing, those photographs you're taking, those films that you're making, whatever it is, that everyone around you, like happened to me, everyone around you is saying, stop fantasizing, stop daydreaming, stop working on that stupid shit, do something serious. Every one of the successful artists in the world was exactly like you. Exactly like you. They drew in a sketchbook or they wrote notes in a journal. The difference is they realized that they either realized that there was a value to what they were doing and they just kept on doing it, no matter how hard it was to try to make a career doing it. Or, more than likely, they loved what they were doing so much that they did it anyway. So take it from me, take it from somebody who dreamed about making a monster movie when he was 9 and 50 years later finally managed to get it done, that no young person wants to hear that it might take 50 years. That's like not a popular message. But I can tell you this, if you make the art every day just because you love making the art, what'll happen is that eventually those dreams may just end up happening on their own. And even if they don't, you've spent a lifetime making art, doing something that you felt passionate about, and you spent your hours well doing something that you loved. So keep at it, please. Before I play you the song, I have to tell you a song that relates to thinking Dad is probably a goofy son of a bitch. Even though he's clearly a very cool guy. And I think, I saw on the internet somewhere, it was a picture of like Slayer, the singer from Slayer and his family, and it was like, even, like the teenage daughter of the singer of Slayer thinks he's an idiot, you know what I mean? So this is a true story, and the song I'm about to play, on the album the guitar was recorded by a fellow named Ray Toro, who is he's a guitarist in a band called My Chemical Romance. He played the guitar on this song. He could not be here tonight. I don't know what the fuck is going on in Los Angeles. Ooh, Ray Toro. They're on a world tour or whatever. Clock it. Anyway, so whatever. P.S. I went to go see My Chemical Romance with my son at Dodger Stadium. It was sold out 2 nights in a row, and it was just such an incredible experience to hear one of my top 3 favorite albums of all time played live. Oh, I'm not gonna tell you tonight. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah! Here's a record you need to check out, which I promise you've never heard of. The band is called. The album is called The Golden Hour. No. What the fuck are they called? Hold on 1 second. I gotta look it up. The Golden Hour album. Shut the fuck up. How am I blanking on the name of the band? Firewater. They're called Firewater. Oh. Yeah, I don't know the name of my favorite fucking band. That's how you know he's old. So anyway. Oh, you're right. You're probably right. A toast to all of you old. I'm 59. Am I the oldest person here tonight? No.
I'm older than you, baby.
All right. Okay. I love people being proud about the fact that they're old as shit. All right. A toast to 67. Oh, 6'7". Is it obvious I spent too much time on the internet? All right. A toast to all of you legends who paved the way for the young alternative people of today. story, quick, I promise. This is the quickest one of them all. So, this song I'm about to play, the guitar on the album was played by Ray Torr of My Chemical Romance. Long story short, I met Gerard many, many years ago when I was a professor of stop motion animation at the School of Visual Arts, and he was a student there. And then later on, I was a director of stop motion animation at a company called Curious Pictures, and he was an intern there. So like my paths have crossed with Gerard many times, and I really wish I could tell you like 7 stories that would have you like laughing in the aisles, but unfortunately we don't have that kind of time, so I'm just gonna tell you one. When my son was a teenager, and I was, of course, a fucking knucklehead, just an absolute fucking know-nothing knucklehead to my son. And we love each other, but he'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, whatever, boomer. So, even though I'm fucking Gen X. So, when he was a teenager, Gerard Way was on tour. So My Chemical Romance had kind of split up. Gerard made an album. And he was coming to New York. And I was with my son, and I said, do you want to go see Gerard Way play his new record tonight? He's like, oh my God, this is the lead singer of My Chemical Romance? Of course. I'm like, all right, so I texted Gerard. And I said, hey, G, I'm gonna see, my son and I are gonna come see you tonight. So break a leg, have a great show, we'll be rooting for you. And he writes right back, and he's like, you didn't buy tickets yet, did you? And I was like, no, but I'm literally on the way to buy the tickets. He's like, do not buy tickets. I'll put you on the guest list. And I was like, no. I appreciate it, but I'm a musician. I buy tickets to absolutely every show that I go to because I understand how important it is for the artist. And he's like, bro, it's like practically sold out. Like, honestly, it's cool. You do not have to spend $20, which is like his polite way of saying, like, I'm a millionaire. So I was like, okay, fine. So he's like, you'll be on the VIP list. I'm like, all right, whatever. Titi me pregunta por qué tengo mucha novia. VIP. Anyway, so I go. I don't even know what I just said. So then we go to Webster Hall where he was playing, and we go in, and they usher us up to this mezzanine section, and we're looking right over the stage. And at some point, the band comes out, Gerard comes out, and they start playing Resident Alien. Was that the name? Hesitant Alien, right. Start playing that album. And I love that record. I love everything this guy does. And so we're up there, and it's like halfway through the show, and at some point, he like stops singing, and he looks around, and he's like telling a story. I wonder what that's like. And he looks up, and he goes, oh, it's so cool to be back in New York City. I see so many familiar faces here tonight. And he goes, oh shit, there's Voltaire. He's Gothic royalty. My son was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, the lead singer of My Chemical Romance just called my dad Gothic royalty. And then he goes, you all know him, right? And I'm looking at like thousands of people, and they're all like. And for the whole rest of that day, I was not a fucking knucklehead. By the next day, I was absolutely back to being a knucklehead. But for that minute, and I thank Gerard for that. Yeah, I shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna tell you one last story. So my son, when he was going to school with David Bowie's daughter and Dave Gahan's daughter, he had found himself. He was really like, believe it or not, he was also like an outsider, bullied kind of nerd, and he was not having a fun time until they forced him to sing a song in a musical, and he had like crazy stage fright, and he was so terrified, and he got out on stage, and this kid who, like, as far as anybody knew, didn't sing, sang a song by himself in front of the entire audience. And immediately after that, every kid in the school was like, who the fuck was that? And how have we never noticed him before? Because he's handsome, he's charismatic, he's smart, he's funny, and he's super talented, and he has a great voice. So they just started casting him like as the lead in all of the musicals, quietly. Like there were still auditions. It was kind of like the elections here in the United States of America. I'm kidding, I kid. Don't do politics, Voltaire, don't do politics. So he gets cast as like Oliver in Oliver. He gets cast as Willy Wonka in Willy Wonka. And so I'm watching Willy Wonka, and sitting directly in front of me was Dave Gahan and his wife. And I remember this because I invited my best friend, and he brought his wife. And his wife, Tony, goes, "That's Dave Gahan. He's directly in front of me. I could touch Dave Gahan." I was like, "Do not touch Dave Gahan." And then I look to my right, and I see David Bowie and Amon. And so now my son's playing Willy Wonka, and both of their daughters are playing Oompa Loompas. And so it's like, we're getting up until like the middle of the play, just before intermission. And my son is singing this song that I've never heard before, and it's in 3/4. It's in a minor key. It literally sounds like one of mine. And he's on a boat, and it's like back and forth and to and fro and bop 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 bop. And then the lights go out, and he lets out this maniacal laugh. He's like, I was like, "You bitch, you stole that from me, you bitch." The lights go out. The audience goes fucking nuts. And Dave Gahan turns around like Linda Blair in The Exorcist. He says, "Voltaire, your son's killing it up there." And I look to my right, and I see David Bowie go like this. And after the play, I walked up to my son. I said, "Mars, I want you to know that for 2 hours of my life, you made me cooler than David Bowie and Dave Gahan." The play was over, and I went right back to being a schmuck. Believe it or not, he's now 28, and I see him every time I go out to LA, which is pretty frequently, and I still thank him to this day for that incredible moment. And now, without further ado, a song that Ray Toro could not be here to play. Here at home, in this steeple made of chrome, above a city of steel, I've chosen bats over people, 'cause I never did like the way humans made me feel. So we sleep all day and we rise at night, and we spread our wings and take into the sky. And when the people all stop and stare and say, "Why you gotta be like that?" I just look them in the eye and tell them I was raised by bats. When I was young, I was feeble, and it stung when they pushed me down. I was so hated by these people that I knew I had to do what I could to get out of that town. So I ran away to this sacred place and was taken in by creatures of the night. That's you. And when the people all stop and stare and say, "Why you gotta dress like that?" I just look them in the eye and tell them, "Fuck you, I'm a cosplayer." And I was raised by bats. When the people all stop and stare and say, "Why you gotta be like that?" I just look them in the eye and tell them I was raised by bats. Those dark days seem far away. I've risen to a better place. So do like me, follow the dream like that. Just throw your own life away and get raised by bats. So we sleep all day and we rise at night, and we spread our wings and take into the skies. We do it all our way, live our lives like that, 'cause there's no one here to fill our heads with lies, like in New Jersey. And when the people all stop and stare and say, "Why you gotta be like that?" When the people all stop and stare and say, "Why you gotta dress like that?" When the people all stop and stare and say, "Why you gotta be very, very, very much for coming out. I want to know something. Is Gray Market still back there?
Yes, sir.
Everybody turn around and look at those folks. I was so blown away. A huge round of applause for them. What an incredible band. I hope that you will not kill me or be embarrassed if I tell you that I felt that I was watching this culmination of references from Jethro Tull to Van Halen to Kansas, Rush, and yet in a way that seemed like something completely new and fresh. How incredible. And thank you so much for being here tonight. Do pick up a CD from them or find a way to follow them on Spotify, social media, because I promise you the next time I come to Tampa, I'll be opening for them. So that's a band you're going to want to follow. And a big round of applause. I want everyone to turn around, look at the sound booth, and give Paulie a big round of applause because he made it sound so good. And last but certainly not least, well, a big round of applause for Indoxa Booking, who has had me here in Florida year after year after year. And most importantly, my home in Tampa, New World Brewery. What an incredible place. Great drinks, great food, such a friendly, amazing staff. And thank you for having me yet again. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm going to leave you with this one last song. And don't forget to see me tomorrow. I will probably be at Scaradise during the day. It's a horror convention. And then tomorrow night I will be at Sunray Cinema to screen my feature film, The Demonatrix, starring Doug Bradley and Nivik Ogre and Hannah Fierman and Larry Fessenden, with a suit made by the same team that made the effects in Hellboy. It's a fun little movie. I noticed on the map that there's like 3 seats in the back row. They are like a wheelchair spots and wheelchair accompanied spots. And so if you feel like those are right for you, please get them while you can. And at the very, very end of the night, if they're not needed by somebody, then maybe they'll sell it to you. So maybe show up and maybe you get to see this film. And if not, we'll be back. I hope there'll be a screening in Jacksonville. There'll be a screening in Orlando. And hopefully you'll get to see it somewhere. And now the last song of the night.
I got my first real 6-string, bought it at the 5 and dime, played it till my fingers bled. Was the summer of '69. Me and some guys from school, we had a band and we tried real hard. When Jesse got married, should've known we'd never get far. Sitting on your mama's porch, you told me that you'd wait forever. And when you held my hand, some words that I don't remember, those were the best days of my life.
That backfired entirely because that was supposed to be a joke, but you seem to really quite like that. Now, that's not the last song of the night, you weirdos. This is the last song of the night. I've been married a long time ago with the word Cotton Eye Joe. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where the fuck you go to, Cotton Eye Joe? I've been married a long time ago with the word Cotton Eye Joe. Where did you come from? Where did you go? That is not, you are, I don't even know what to say. That is not the last, this is the last song of the night. If I leave here tomorrow, some words that I don't know, I'm as free as a bird now. But hold on a second, this is a Communion After Dark show, so that bird must be a crow. Oh, a kinky black clad crow. This is it. Baby shark, shark, baby shark, baby shark, mommy shark, mommy shark, mommy shark, mommy shark, grandma shark, grandma shark, grandpa shark. That is, come on now. How could you possibly think that is the last song? I will say this though, people think goths are sullen and depressed. Goths are the most fun-loving people I know. Goths will sing along and dance to absolutely fucking anything, especially if there's alcohol involved. But in all seriousness, this is the last song of the night. Let it go. Virgins everywhere. All right, well, shit. If you've never been to one of my shows before, you may not know what's about to happen. This is the part of the show where I assemble hand-selected people from the audience to come up here onto the stage and form a little group I like to call the Beelzebub Philharmonic Choir. Help me sing the chorus of this song. Now, if you'd like to be in the Beelzebub Philharmonic Choir, you must be able to fulfill one of three very important requirements. One, you must know all of the lyrics to the chorus of this song. If that's you, raise your hand. Or two, you must know most of the lyrics to the chorus of this song. Or three, you must be dead sexy and be able to fake the lyrics to the chorus of this song. Now, if your hand was up at any time whatsoever, I am going to invite you to come up here and help me sing this song. But first, I have a couple of rules. Rule number one is if you're going to come up here, please hand your phone to a friend, a family member, or the least creepy person near you. Because while you're up here, you're a star. People film you. You don't film them. Don't film yourself. Imagine how fucking annoying it would be to go see Phantom of the Opera and watch this. At night he sang to me, in dreams he came. Just give your phone to a friend. Rule number two. Do I have a rule number two? I don't know if this show's 21 and up or 18 and up, so you're not to look at the rum, you're not to smell the rum, then you definitely are not to taste the rum. I realize I'm not the best looking guy here tonight, but I'm definitely too cute for Tampa jail. And lastly, rule number three, while you're up here, I know it's a cathartic experience, it's a beautiful night. I know I want to hug the shit out of somebody. Maybe you want to hug the shit out of someone too. Don't. Don't. Just keep your hands to yourself, and I ask that you only touch other people if they give you their verbal consent. That's all. And having said that, if your hand was up at any time whatsoever, I want you to slowly, calmly, without pushing or shoving, find your way onto the stage via one way and one way only, and that is the stairs, stage right. looked like they were on their way to bondage night. There you go. When you turn 21, you can sit that close to the booze. You're 22? No, you're a lyric and a half. Shut the fuck up. You still can't drink the booze. Yes, if you're short, sit. That's a great idea. If you're tall, stand in the back. Oh, I need everybody to take a step back because I walk over there and I don't want to step on your face. That'd be tragic. Oh, now we have a director. That's beautiful. You have a history. I mean, you have a future ahead of you at the Tampa airport. You really do. Can you do this? If you have glow sticks and you can do this, you're either going to be addicted to crystal meth within a week or you're going to get a job at the Tampa airport. Larry, thank you very much. I appreciate the order. Ladies and gentlemen, the Tampa chapter of the Beals of a Philharmonic Choir. I'm the fly in your soup. I'm the pebble in your shoe. I'm the pea beneath your bed. I'm a bump on every head. I'm the peel on which you slip. I'm a pin in every head. I'm a thorn in your side. So wriggle and ride. Why? I'm evil. The devil tips his hat to me. I'm evil. I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need. While there's children to make sad, while there's candy to be had, while there's buckets left to pick, while there's grannies left to trim down the stairs, I'll be there. I'll be waiting around the corner. It's a game, I'm glad I'm in it, 'cause there's one born every minute. Why? I'm evil, apparently. The devil tips his hat to me. I'm evil, I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need. Beelzebub Philharmonic Choir, take it away. Let's hear it for them. Ah, for fuck's sake, they just sold their souls to Satan on stage. I'm the fear that keeps you awake. I'm the shadows on the wall. I'm the monsters they become. I'm the nightmare in your skull. I'm a dagger in your back, an extra turn upon the rack. I'm the quivering of your heart, a stabbing pain, a sudden start. What? I'm evil. The devil tips his hat to me. I'm evil, I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need. And I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need. And I do it all for free. Then why the fuck did it cost $33.35 to get the fuck in here tonight? Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need. It gets so lonely being evil. What I'd do to see a smile, even for a little while. And no one loves you when you're evil. Speaking of which, big round of applause for DJ Nemesis. Through my teeth,
Mr. Music, take it away.